Paper 116. The Almighty Supreme. If man recognized that his creators, his immediate supervisors, while being divine, were also finite, and that the God of time and space was an evolving and non-absolute deity, then would the inconsistencies of temporal inequalities cease to be profound religious paradoxes. No longer would religious faith be prostituted to the promotion of social smugness in the fortunate, while serving only to encourage stoical resignation in the unfortunate victims of social deprivation. When viewing the exquisitely perfect spheres of Avona, it is both reasonable and logical to believe they were made by a perfect, infinite, and absolute Creator. But that same reason and logic would compel any honest being, when viewing the turmoil, imperfections, and inequities of Urantia, to conclude that your world had been made by and was being managed by creators who were sub-absolute, pre-infinite, and other than perfect. Experiential growth implies creature-creator partnership, God and man in association. Growth is the earmark of experiential deity. Havona did not grow. Havona is and always has been. It is existential like the everlasting gods who are its source, but growth characterizes the grand universe. The Almighty Supreme is a living and evolving deity of power and personality. His present domain, the grand universe, is also a growing realm of power and personality. His destiny is perfection, but his present experience encompasses the elements of growth and incomplete status. The Supreme Being functions primarily in the central universe as a spirit personality, secondarily in the grand universe as God the Almighty, a personality of power. The tertiary function of the Supreme in the master universe is now latent, existing only as an unknown mind potential. No one knows just what this third development of the Supreme Being will disclose. Some believe that, when the super-universes are settled in light and life, the Supreme will become functional from Uversa as the almighty and experiential sovereign of the grand universe, while expanding in power as the super-almighty of the outer universes. Others speculate that the third stage of supremacy will involve the third level of deity manifestation, but none of us really know. 1. The Supreme Mind. The experience of every evolving creature personality is a phase of the experience of the Almighty Supreme. The intelligent subjugation of every physical segment of the super-universes is a part of the growing control of the Almighty Supreme. The creative synthesis of power and personality is a part of the creative urge of the Supreme Mind and is the very essence of the evolutionary growth of unity in the Supreme Being. The union of the power and personality attributes of supremacy is the function of Supreme Mind, and the completed evolution of the Almighty Supreme will result in one unified and personal deity, not in any loosely coordinated association of divine attributes. From the broader perspective, there will be no Almighty apart from the Supreme, no Supreme apart from the Almighty. Throughout the evolutionary ages, the physical power potential of the Supreme is vested in the 7 Supreme Power Directors, and the mind potential reposes in the 7 Master Spirits. The infinite mind is the function of the infinite spirit, the cosmic mind the ministry of the 7 Master Spirits. The Supreme Mind is in process of actualizing in the coordination of the grand universe and in functional association with the revelation and attainment of God the Sevenfold. The time-space mind, the cosmic mind, is differently functioning in the 7 super-universes, but it is coordinated by some unknown associative technique in the Supreme Being. The almighty over-control of the grand universe is not exclusively physical and spiritual. In the 7 super-universes it is primarily material and spiritual, but there are also present phenomena of the Supreme which are both intellectual and spiritual. We really know less about the mind of supremacy than about any other aspect of this evolving deity. It is unquestionably active throughout the grand universe, and is believed to have a potential destiny of master universe function which is of vast extent. But this we do know, whereas physique may attain complete growth, and whereas spirit may achieve perfection of development, mind never ceases to progress. It is the experiential technique of endless progress. The Supreme is an experiential deity and therefore never achieves completion of mind attainment. 2. The Almighty and God the Sevenfold. The appearance of the universe power presence of the Almighty is concomitant with the appearance on the stage of cosmic action of the high creators and controllers of the evolutionary superuniverses. God the Supreme derives his spirit and personality attributes from the Paradise Trinity, but he has power actualizing in the doings of the Creator Sons, the Ancients of Days, and the Master Spirits, whose collective acts are the source of his growing power as Almighty Sovereign to and in the 7 superuniverses. Unqualified Paradise Deity is incomprehensible to the evolving creatures of time and space. Eternity and infinity connote a level of deity reality which time-space creatures cannot comprehend. Infinity of deity and absoluteness of sovereignty are inherent in the Paradise Trinity, and the Trinity is a reality which lies somewhat beyond the understanding of mortal man. Time-space creatures must have origins, relativities, and destinies in order to grasp universe relationships and to understand the meaning values of divinity. Therefore does Paradise Deity attenuate and otherwise qualify the extra-paradise personalizations of deity, thus bringing into existence the supreme creators and their associates who ever carry the light of life farther and farther from its paradise source until it finds its most distant and beautiful expression in the earth lives of the bestowal sons on the evolutionary worlds. And this is the origin of God the Sevenfold, whose successive levels are encountered by mortal man in the following order. 1. The Creator Sons and Creative Spirits. 2. The Ancients of Days. 3. The 7 Master Spirits. 4. The Supreme Being. 5. The Conjoint Actor. 6. The Eternal Son. 7. The Universal Father. The first 3 levels are the Supreme Creators. The last 3 levels are the Paradise Deities. The Supreme ever intervenes as the experiential spirit personalization of the Paradise Trinity and as the experiential focus of the evolutionary almighty power of the Creator children of the Paradise Deities. The Supreme Being is the maximum revelation of deity to the 7 superuniverses and for the present universe age. By the technique of mortal logic, it might be inferred that the experiential reunification of the collective acts of the first 3 levels of God the Sevenfold would equivalate to the level of Paradise Deity, but such is not the case. Paradise Deity is existential deity. The Supreme Creators, in their divine unity of power and personality, are constitutive and expressive of a new power potential of experiential deity. And this power potential of experiential origin finds inevitable and inescapable union with the experiential deity of Trinity origin, the Supreme Being. God the Supreme is not the Paradise Trinity, neither is he any one or all of those superuniverse creators whose functional activities actually synthesize his evolving almighty power. God the Supreme, while of origin in the Trinity, becomes manifest to evolutionary creatures as a personality of power only through the coordinated functions of the first 3 levels of God the Sevenfold. The Almighty Supreme is now factualizing in time and space through the activities of the Supreme Creator personalities, even as in eternity the Conjoint Actor flashed into being by the will of the Universal Father and the Eternal Son. These beings of the first 3 levels of God the Sevenfold are the very nature and source of the power of the Almighty Supreme. Therefore must they ever accompany and sustain his administrative acts. 3. The Almighty and Paradise Deity. The Paradise Deities not only act directly in their gravity circuits throughout the grand universe, but they also function through their various agencies and other manifestations, such as 1. The mind focalizations of the 3rd source and center. The finite domains of energy and spirit are literally held together by the mind presences of the Conjoint Actor.